Younger looking skin may not be just about fillers anymore. Beverly Hills Dr. Andre Berger ranks today's top skin longevity treatments, not just for skin, but also fat, ligaments, muscle, and bone. Stay to the end because he shares the treatment he believes may even help regrow facial bone.
And I'm going to give you the ranks. Hormone optimization. You looked at me, what did he just say? Ah, okay, I give that a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Okay? You cannot rejuvenate the face while you ignore systemic aging. You can't. Okay? Why? Because hormones influence everything that's important. Collagen, skin thickness, muscle integrity, inflammation, metabolism, fat metabolism. Well, I mean, come on. That's foundational to how you appear, right? This is where longevity medicine and aesthetics truly merge. Okay? The face is often just the mirror of metabolic and hormonal health, right? So that's why I give that a 9 out of 10. Now I'm going to give you another one that people should know. This is a new frontier. It's quite new. And I understand it's kind of a work in progress and, not many people really understand this. And right now it's going crazy out there in terms of the marketing of this. So it should be done in a proper way with a full understanding and, using a provider who really does understand this and can protect you from, getting being sold a bunch of snake oil and creating some harm. You don't want that. That's why I give that a 9 out of 10. Now I'm going to give you another one that people should know. This is a new frontier.
Thank you for learning with BeautySeek. Subscribe for updates and deeper conversations about facial rejuvenation.
This is a new frontier. It's quite new, but it's peptides. Okay? Peptides. I give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. That's significant, right? Big mark up there. Why do they matter? Because they influence a lot of the biological processes that are integral to aesthetics. They influence healing. They influence collagen signaling, recovery, body composition, inflammation. Wow. Hello. I mean, that's what we're talking about. So that's structural integrity and health of tissue translates into optimal aesthetics. So we're entering into an era where medicine increasingly guides us with these biologic signaling pathways. Okay, the future of aging, again, may be less about fighting biology and more about directing it. Because these peptides are basically, they're messengers, they're signals, they're directing things. So I'm very excited about that.
I'm hearing about peptides everywhere, and there's so many. We could have a whole nother show on.
It's quite a good thing. It's very important.
Stay to the end when Dr. Berger shares the treatment he ranks higher than fat grafting and what it may be doing to facial bone.
It's quite a good thing. It's very important. It's NAD therapy. Okay. I give this a 7.5. 7.5. Okay, why do I do that? Why is it important? Well, it supports mitochondrial function. What's mitochondrial function? Mitochondria are little organelles in your cells that create the energy for the cell to operate. Okay? Without that, basically dead. Okay? RIP. All right? So you need your mitochondria to be healthy and pumping out good energy for your cell to work at its optimal best. And that is why NAD is important for mitochondrial function and cellular energy, which provides you with metabolic resilience. That's why it's not a direct aesthetic treatment, but it's more foundational than visual. Okay? It's underneath the surface. It's a foundation. You don't see it. But boy, the job that it does is critically important. So that's why I give it a 7.5. It's cellular energy that affects the resilience of tissues everywhere. Okay. So I think that's critically important. Healthier cellular energy eventually becomes visible externally.
I love that. And I take a little NAD pill every day. But I saw your piece of NMN versus NAD. Can you explain the difference?
Well, the body and NAD, yes, if you take it orally, it's converted. NMN is converted much better to NAD. Unfortunately, in order to get NAD in proper good concentration, there's only two methods of delivery that do that really well. One is IV, which is really, too inconvenient, or IM, which means an injection. So if I was advising any patient, I'd say you got to do it IM to really get the benefit. Okay. Orally, I would take NMN. I wouldn't take NAD because you get a more potent, once it's in the body, you get a conversion. It's a precursor. So you get a conversion, which will, be much more powerful. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Now, so here's what I'm going to give you. You're waiting for this one. You're waiting for a 10 out of 10, right? Am I wrong?
Ideally.
Okay. 10 out of 10 is.
Before you go, Dr. Berger reveals why the future of facial rejuvenation is not filling the face at all.
Okay. 10 out of 10 is regenerative aesthetics. That's 10 out of 10. It's the future. I love the future. I give the future 10 out of 10. It's no longer cosmetic medicine alone. No. Because the future is the convergence. It integrates hormones, metabolism, collagen, tissue quality, inflammation, structural preservation, regenerative therapies. Okay. That's a 10 out of 10. You put all those together in your treatment plan, 10 out of 10. Best you could do. So the future of rejuvenation is biologic optimization. It's not cosmetic camouflage. So now we'll get kind of towards the end. I know you're really waiting for this one.
Okay, we've learned so much. Now we're ready for Dr. Berger to share the one treatment he ranks above almost everything else, and what it could do for facial bone loss due to aging.
Really waiting for this one. So the last one is sculpture. Sculpture is a biostimulator. I give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Okay.
That's a high mark. Sculpture really did change the philosophy of aesthetics. Okay. Instead of instantly filling, it stimulates collagen architecture over time. And we've been talking about how important that is. And that's what sculpture does. So when sculpture first came out, and was FDA approved for treatment of lipoatrophy and in AIDS patients. It was first just the treatment that was approved only for treatment of AIDS, loss of facial volume. Okay. And you remember how gaunt those AIDS patients were at the beginning before we had all these, medications and treatments. And that's where it was developed. But, as it happens in medicine constantly, when we see something working in one way, we figure out how else it can work. And we figured out, this could be really good for aesthetics. And indeed, that's true. Because the face, when you give Sculptra, it looks firmer, it looks healthier, it's more structurally supported, it's just more resilient. It doesn't look filled. Okay, so again, here I go. Convergence, longevity, and aesthetics. Okay, we need more long-term data, but the concept is really fascinating because it shifts the discussion from filling tissue to potentially supporting the architecture of the face itself, which is all I've been talking about. So the future of facial rejuvenation is not going to be filling the face. It may be teaching the face to rebuild itself.
Yeah.
Okay. That's regenerative, right? Longevity medicine it does focus on preserving the integrity of our tissue over time. And Sculptra mirrors that idea, aesthetically does so, because it helps restore collagen architecture gradually and naturally. So that's mimicking. But the big reveal here, I think something that's really interesting, is that trying to replace simply volume, but trying to kind of preserve and regenerate the foundational tissues in the structures, the issues. I guess that would include like collagen, adipose, integrity of the fat tissue, muscle quality, ligament support, and lastly, the bones, the skeletal framework. Okay, so I think So what we're seeing with Sculptra is very interesting. Okay, now I can't say if I go through the medical literature, I can say that Sculptra may help. I have to phrase this the right way. May help the structural foundation of skin aging the ways traditional fillers don't. And we have a lot of emerging clinical observations. I certainly have, personally in my practice, and biological theories that suggest that biostimulatory agents like Sculptra may influence these deeper tissues beyond the skin that support youthful architecture, including stimulation of the periosteum, which is the outside layer of the bone, and help to support bone signaling. Again, signaling. So you can see, I can see in my patients, if I do radiographs, x-rays over time using Sculptra, I can definitely see some change and improvement in bone. There's some things happening. And the evidence right now is very suggestive that indeed is the case. So yeah, it's like some of these other treatments. Yeah, we already know that this is probably certainly going on. It's an added benefit, and that's very exciting. So again, I love it how the regenerative treatment is really addressing, potentially all the layers that affect the architecture of the skin. Again, not just by filling, but actually by signaling and getting the body to do what the body can do best. So I think that's a bit of exciting information that holds a lot of promise. The future, again, is not filling the face. It's about teaching the face to rebuild itself.
I love it. This is so exciting. And I've learned so much prepping with you and talking with you today. I'm kind of sad because when I go into esthetician for activities or Botox, I see the signs for Sculptra or Renuva, but I just think of them as fillers. I'm clearly thinking of them as wrong. And I love this space. So how do I not know?
So unfortunately, what's happened with aesthetics, very bad, is that rather than selling an outcome, there's been the selling of a commodity. Okay? Yeah. Without an honest and robust and full discussion with an understanding of what the opportunities are and concerns are, opportunities for the patient, concerns of the patient are, and what their trajectory, they want the trajectory to be, it's impossible to create a treatment plan that integrates, and without knowledge of this, it's impossible to create a treatment plan that integrates these approaches for an most ideal benefit or result. That's why, you go to a med spa, they slap one syringe or filler or 20 syringe, whatever, in your face, and that's the hammer. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So that's why this has happened. But, look, things catch up. I mean, much of the information that I've been discussing it's fairly new. It's more cutting edge. It's like more advanced thinking and more advanced approach and more advanced treatment. Okay. Which you just can't get everywhere because everywhere is not caught up yet to this. But I think patients should be mindful of these things. They should put themselves in the best position to ask the right questions. Okay. And be very, think over and very carefully what their goals are, not just for immediate gratification, but for long-term aesthetic improvement. Yeah. So, we're not about filling. It's about teaching the face to rebuild itself.
Yes, you've really taught me that filling the face it's just no longer the future of facial rejuvenation.
Well, I also taught you there's a role. I mean, it's not like it's gone. There's still, I gave it a, not as high a score as it used to have, 6.5, because there's a role. It's more limited, but still important.
Fair.
It shouldn't be looked at more than what it really is or should be. That's what I'm trying to say.
Fair. Yes, we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. But you're encouraging me to think deeper, to bone, muscle, ligaments, fat. It all needs to be healthy, and we can't just do that with filler. I love that. So you took your years of wisdom and you moved it into a book. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so yeah, I did write a book called the Beverly Hills Anti-Aging Prescription. It really tells people about my practice, primarily on the, anti-aging side. It's not focused on cosmetics. Again, I think that's the foundation, the principle. It really talks about, some of the more important things. And it talks about key strategies that I've employed over the years with my patients. But again, full disclosure, this book it's the last edition. It's been several years. The half-life of medical knowledge is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So I need to put in some time to update with a new edition. I haven't done that yet. I plan to between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. maybe. I have to do that. But but that's just there. But the basics, the fundamentals are still very much in that book. And if a patient practices just those basics and fundamentals, that's a huge, huge benefit to them in terms of improving their health span. It's on Amazon. It's available as a digital book. And I think it's still on the Apple Store.
And Dr. Berger, thank you so much. I'm so honored to have you share your wisdom, your thoughts on kind of Berger's information here on Beauty Seek.
It's been fun. I really enjoyed it. I always love the opportunity to, tell people about my passion and what, I believe they should be mindful of and understand. So thank you for the opportunity.